7th and having buddies and...
Yeah, I don't want to go too far with
Okay.
that. No microphones.
You're good with the microphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
We came through loud and clear last time.
Absolutely. Okay, you're on in 5, 4, 3.
Hi, welcome to Community Chat. This is Diane Estes, and I'm the School and Community Relations Director for the Lebanon School District. Welcome to our program. Over the next few weeks, we will be bringing you different guests into the studio to talk about different events that are going on in the school, as well as the middle school building project that you will be seeing on your ballot come March. So, we'll be talking about different items of interest to you, such as the financial aspects of the building, as well as the educational side, which I'm excited to talk about today. Because today's program, I have a special guest, and that is Superintendent Dr. Michael Harris. And he is joining us to talk about the educational side of the middle school and how it relates to serving our children in Lebanon. Welcome to the program.
Hi Diane, it's nice to be here and good luck to you with your show.
Oh, thank you very much. Still a little nervous and getting used to all of this. So, Dr. Harris, could you tell us a little bit about how a middle school is different from a junior high, for example?
Sure, and the differences are a bit arbitrary and more minimal. Really, our Lebanon Junior High has been called a junior high for the last several generations, primarily because that's what it says over the door of the building. It's Lebanon Junior High School.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes, yeah. It really has operated as a middle school concept in terms of the way it's been arranged, that the faculty has been set up. So let me explain that.
Yes.
Typically, a junior high school was a 7th and 8th grade setting, and the philosophical view of a junior high school was just that the students were junior high schoolers.
Oh, sure.
They were in that never land, that limbo land between being elementary students and high school students, and because there was no real niche, we didn't really recognize preteens as a separate academic and social group.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we called them high schoolers, but they weren't old enough to be high schoolers, so we called them junior high schoolers. And that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
And really ran junior high schools like high schools, except for smaller people.
Which means changing classes,
Changing classes, yeah, and even a lot of the same curricular subjects,
I see.
a lot of the same setup. And our junior high, of course, has even had the wood shop, the home ec, all that stuff,
Sure.
which is what high schools used to have,
Mhm.
more typically. So that's the traditional setup and where junior high school came from as a term, and was the setup when our place was graded and put Lebanon Junior High School in the building. Middle school as a concept became more prominent 20, 25 years ago. And the idea behind it was to recognize students of that age, that pre-high school, that pre-teen age, as a very separate and distinct group with social and academic needs of their own.
Sure.
And really needed thought, care, consideration given to what these kids need, how they learn best, what they needed curriculum-wise, and that they really deserved a separate schooling situation of their own, not
Mhm.
just a junior high school
Mhm.
setting. And so that's where the middle school came from, and the setup that it tended to engender was one by which teachers operated in teams.
I see.
And that's what people are familiar with the school here, was that the faculty was organized into, well, 3 or 4 teams, as it's
Mhm.
varied from over the years, and that the students were each assigned to a team. And that team of teachers could then better concentrate on some smaller number of students apiece, and really get to know them better, run a more nurturing environment than a high school might provide, and get to know them, be more supportive of them than we might otherwise have.
Which is a nice transition from an elementary to their high school.
Exactly,
years.
they're still changing
Right.
teachers, and they've got multiple teachers in a day, but you still hope to have
The
a little more
focus.
concentration or familiarity of teachers
Mhm.
with the students. So that's exactly it, that was the transition. So New Hampshire now, for the last decade or so, really left it up to each of our schools, each of our districts to say, simply, are you running a junior high school or high school?
Mhm.
And they didn't have to really provide evidence as to one way or the other. They simply allowed you to say which one you were running. And now they don't even recognize junior high schools.
Oh,
And
interesting.
there's
So
no set of junior high school regulations anymore. It's all middle school.
Middle school.
That's the evolution now.
well, that's very interesting, moving forward, and just a name change or, yeah.
Yeah, it has
Right.
changed over the years,
Yes.
and that's exactly the set of changes is what's happening.
Well, that's great. Well, and now with the new middle school that's planned, the grades 5 and through 8 will be in there. And there, I would imagine, would be a lot of programming advantages and systems advantages, as well as the building, as well as education.
Yeah, and let me talk a little bit on how some of these decisions about the
Sure.
grade configuration has been determined. And yeah, you're right, the middle school kind of grew to include more grades than just 7th and 8th. If you sort of recognize these kids as a distinct age group by themselves, well, it made sense to include 3 or even 4 years rather than just a 2-year span. And that's what we've done in setting this up as a middle school. And the proposal a year ago had it focused as a grade 6, 7, 8 school. And thinking, yeah, that's what a middle school at least is going to be, so we'll try that. I think over the last year, we've tended to favor the 5 through 8 for these reasons that I'll give you. The National Association of Middle Schools really advocates both models,
I see.
5 through 8 as well as 6 through 8, and says they both serve that age group effectively, equally effectively, socially and academically. They both are valid models for students of that age group. In New Hampshire, it's pretty split, and 5 through 8 and 6 through 8 clearly are the predominant models now in New Hampshire. I think it's 24, 25, 5 through 8 schools in the state now, about 30, 6 through 8 schools. So they are used pretty widely across the state and close to an even split. So that kind of leaves it up to us. What do we think? What serves us best? And one reason we've included grade 5 in this new proposal is indeed the cost effectiveness. It is far more cost effective to build a building for 4 grades than it is for 3. You need the same common areas, you need the same gym space, the library space, the cafeteria space. So effectively, all we're adding with another grade is the classroom space. And so we can add a new building, put another 120 students into a new building, a new facility, for about $1.5 million out of that total price of 25. So the cost effectiveness goes up tremendously with another grade in there. The second thing is the long-term planning. If we don't put grade 5 in with the 6th, 7th, 8th in this new building, grade 5, frankly, is nowhere to go.
Right.
They don't fit into any of our settings, and we are going to be left with a grade 5 problem after this.
I see.
The intent is to close down Seminary Hill, move both 5 and 6 into the new building. There's no room in Hanover Street to put a 5th grade, so there's really no place for them to go. They can't go into Mount Lebanon. So this is necessary in terms of the space needs of our long-term planning. And then the third thing is more the curricular aspects you were suggesting. And simply, we've had our 5th and 6th graders together for generations, for years now. And when it was at Hanover Street School, when it was it's been at Sun Hill School, our 5th and 6th grades have been together. The teachers been together, and they like being together.
Right.
They have worked together for years in their planning. They run the same educational models. They work together curriculum-wise. And they have generally expressed the desire to stay together. They
That's nice.
like working together.